This week's project is actually really cool. It's Monday morning and today we get to start building the crossbeam and also the longeron.
This week marked a huge milestone in the building of Delos 2.0. You can already see the whole coming together, getting closer and closer to that crucial point of structural integrity. But we're still missing two key pieces, the forward crossbeam and the longeron. So what the heck are those? First, let's catch you up. We moved to Australia to build an aluminum expeditionary catamaran. Yep, aluminum.
It's crazy. It looks so cool.
We wanted to dive right into the process and build our own home from the ground up. Catamarans are a difficult balance between strength and weight. We want to keep weight off the boat, especially in the bow, so she'll glide up and over waves rather than crashing through them. Which means we want to keep the bridge deck and its weight as far back as possible. If you ever see a catamaran with a nice big trampoline, this is the reason why. The longeron is the piece that extends from the bridge deck and meets the crossbeam right in the middle. It holds 3 chain plates, one for the jib, one for the self-tacking jib, and way out in front, a spot for a downwind sail like an asymmetrical kite. It also serves as a strong point for our anchor and chain, which runs right inside the longeron all the way back to the chain locker. So we want the structure to be light, but there's also some incredible forces in play here. The force of the water on each hole is massive and constantly trying to rip the holes apart or squish them together. At the same time, there's a humongous force acting vertically on the bow, caused by the forestay, which is responsible for holding up our mast. So we need a strong, lightweight structure capable of keeping those forces at bay. Enter the crossbeam and longeron, a super critical part of our build, which is what we're fabricating in today's video. And after a week of cutting, grinding, and polishing each piece, we're finally putting it all together.
Basically, you can see the assembly drawing. So this would be the crossbeam. This is the longeron. We have all of our parts here. Right now we're making pieces of pipe, big piece of pipe. It's like 6 meters long, but we're cutting it to the right lengths as per the plans.
So what are we up to right now?
So we're going to set up and make the longeron.
Yeah, okay, so this is it. This is the base of it right here.
What's really impressive about the longeron is its design. It's engineered to be hollow and unsupported at the bottom front, giving the boat a clean, streamlined look, with no need for extra supports extending out to each hull. This sleek design doesn't just look good, it's also functional.
We're just been cleaning up all the pieces over the last couple of days.
Exactly 69 pieces went into the making of the longeron, all CAD designed and CNC cut. And while it might look like assembling a giant Lego metal arm, trust me, it's not as simple as it seems. Even with every part meticulously measured and cut, logistics can still throw you a curveball. After welding the first frame onto the pipe, something just didn't feel right. The key to moving forward was figuring out where it all started to go sideways.
This is a little bit more tricky stuff.
Well, we've got everything kind of packed together. See where this frame line is right here?
Yeah.
So that line should line up with this. When we move this back here, switch everything else out. So we're just trying to verify if these lines have been mismarked or if we've been given wrong measurements on the plans, which has happened quite a bit.
We're stumped by what caused this misalignment, so it was time to take a step back, a deep breath, and call David in New Zealand to see what was up. And when all else fails, Smoko is sure to fix anything.
So today, everybody is kind of rushing a little bit because I think it's gonna start raining. It has been such nice weather, just super sunny and everything. Yeah, rain is coming for the next 4 days. So since the extension of the shed is not covered yet, Dan is trying to get all of those welds on the back done today.
So no resolution on the long run? You just have to wait for tomorrow, or?
No resolution yet. Something 40 mil out.
But everything is 40 mil out.
One thing's contradicting the other.
Kind of an unproductive day. We got some stuff done, but he likes to be productive. 100%. He's like 80% productive today, so he's not happy.
Tomorrow's another day.
Yeah.
Our second day immersed in this project started much like the first, challenging and relentless. But we weren't ready to give up. Every hour, we pushed through the setbacks and started to see the light at the end of the tunnel.
And the rain is here. It just started raining last night, so it was good that they managed to close off the back of the boat. And Dan and Brian are now just like troubleshooting and working on the longeron for the crossbeam. So yeah, it's a lot of things going on, and I'm just organizing footage.
Good morning, by the way.
Okay.
Did we get a resolution on our 40 mil out problem from yesterday?
So that's a combination of a few errors.
He said these are marked opposite hands.
Yeah.
Really, this writing should be
On the
on
other side.
on the other side.
After realizing that the numbers on the side plate were marked opposite hand, we recalibrated, split the difference, and found that the measurements for the other plates in the tube were now off by 5 millimeters. A huge improvement from the 40 mils that we saw before.
3 issues working together to put us off,
Yep.
but all resolvable.
Yes.
Okay.
If you can step across it, you can weld it.
We knew from the start that one of the biggest headaches in this project would be nailing these precise alignments with so many moving parts. But we had a plan to fix it, and we were moving forward.
What's this for, Dan?
Put these angles on to keep it straight, and we're going to tack some supports along just to hold it together.
Okay, so
when we weld it.
it's just temporary.
Yeah, well, it'll keep it straight while we tack our tabs on, and then the tabs will keep it straight while we weld it.
We found the middle ground, and so it's coming together. There was a slight twist in it after we had it together, so we had to basically cut this, and then we hooked the come along up on one side and pulled it over, and now look at this. So now it's like perfectly level. If you look down it, it's super straight.
Learning to weld is important to me because it's about taking a real part in the build. Being hands-on lets me understand every part of our boat, allowing me to troubleshoot on the spot and take real pride and ownership in our future home.
Picking the eyes out of it.
Dan gave me the glory welding.
Trying to get it shot. Who the hell? So hard.
I'm just alternating sides and spreading distances out between my welds so that I don't put too much heat into one spot. And then
The way you approach each weld is vital, because if too much heat is focused on one spot, it can cause the aluminum to warp, throwing everything else off. We have to be mindful of spreading the heat evenly so everything stays aligned and comes together perfectly.
these outsides are just going to be stitch welded like this, and then the inside will be fully welded.
That's interesting. I just kind of like tapped the aluminum and you can feel that it's like hot to the touch.
You really got to be careful not to put too much heat into one place.
Yeah, like it heats up super fast, huh?
Yeah.
That's why we got to insulate our boat.
Yeah. It's our new anchor.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah. I decided to order it early because we're doing the longeron, and the anchor fits up into that. So I wanted to make sure that the anchor fits where it's supposed to. Thank you, Mantis. That's pretty cool, huh?
Yeah. I wonder if this is like the trickiest, like a lot of measurements.
A lot of ways for it to go wrong, too.
What we do around here is strap right job, we make it happen.
Make it happen, that's right, Dad.
Two more mil. It looks about the same as the other one.
Oh, looking great.
Now he's smiling. You know, the other funny thing is, we actually can't put that part on the boat because it's about this much too long because the center of the boat is right here. And we can't really cut this post.
Oopsies!
You need a bigger shed, Dan.
Yeah, that. Or a shorter boat.
Or a shorter boat. We've marked that this is the too long piece for the shed. I'm gonna cut it right here.
So you can basically cut it and then we will just add it on later and it's not a problem.
We'll just cut it, weld it back on, grind it, nobody will ever know.
Yep.
That's that. We got asked a couple of comments about the safety gear that we're using, and so I thought I'd take a few minutes and talk about that. First of all, the clothing that we're wearing is these jeans are like fire resistant from a company called Benchmark FR. They're based out of California. But the main thing I wanted to talk about is the welding gear, which I think is actually quite cool. So this is an air filter. It's got a rechargeable lithium battery. So what you do is you kind of put this on, and then you got your hose here. You turn this baby on, got different fan levels. Can you hear it going?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so what it's actually doing is it's sucking air in from back here. It's running it through a filter, and then this plugs in to your helmet. And it does two things. It provides you nice, clean air to breathe, but it also keeps the helmet from fogging up. Because if you put this helmet on with breathing inside, it fogs up real quick. This is the speed glass helmet. It's pretty cool because when it's in this mode, you can actually see out of it. It's slightly tinted, but
Yeah.
if you're gonna work, so I wear it a lot like this, just down for like welding or grinding, because a lot of times the metal and the chips of the grinding wheel will fly up and they'll hit you in the face. And so you really want a full mask on. So this works great for that. It's got a little button on the side that you can push, and that puts it in grinding mode, or it's automatic as well. So when you start welding with this glass in like a very short period of time will turn into welding glass to protect your eyes, because the arc is super bright.
It takes like a few seconds to get
I
the...
think it's less than that, like to get burned.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the welding will burn your eyes.
That's scary, huh?
Yeah, so
Nobody
this
has
stuff
time for
isn't cheap. This, I think, in Aussie dollars is about $2,000 for the helmet and the filter, but super worth it. That's it.
Cool.
It's also got this that goes around your face, so it kind of like seals this off so you don't breathe in any smoke. Welding gloves, because I'm right-handed. This is a smaller glove because it's always on the trigger of the welding gun, and this is what I'm always using to hold the piece that I'm welding or close or guiding the nozzle. So this is like why it's a thicker glove than this one. That's my nickname, Skipper.
Skipper.
Man, right, Skipper on all my shit. So if you guys have any other questions about the stuff we're using in the shop, let me know. I might not know, but I know Dan will know. We'll ask him.
Last but not least.
One thing I forgot to mention, super important in the shop, earplugs. With all the grinding and the hammering and the banging and people throwing shit around, it gets loud in there. And it just reverberates off everything, so gotta have these.
Yeah.
Hey guys, check this out. What do you think about my new shirt? It is super smooth, very soft, a little bit stretchy, 100% cozy, and it has this sweet design of Delos sailing in the water. It's really cool, and if you head on over to svdelos.com/shop, on the left side there's an area of the website that says new and hot. That pretty much describes this shirt. We also have this pretty sweet water bottle. It's got the same design on it, and it is by Camelback, so it is super high quality. Stay hydrated. All right, that's it. Thanks for watching. svdelos.com/shop. Back to the video. I totally forgot to mention the best part. It's a hoodie.
Now watch this. So these are some of the lugs go in it. So this will be the stationless, and then the big forestay will be in front of it.
Over the last few days, I've been focused on fabricating and drilling holes in some hefty pieces that will eventually become our chain plates. The chain plates are the strong points in the boat that connect our hull to the rigging. They essentially hold up the mast and endure an incredible load. As I work, I can't help but think about how crucial these components are, and that we build them to withstand the harshest conditions at sea.
They're really thick, huh?
Yeah. These are 32 mil. They hold a lot of force. This wire that goes from here to here to here is, I think, 19 millimeter thick. So it's a big, thick wire.
Right now, we're aiming to weld these bad boys to the main structure. For that, we need a very specific angle, exactly 65 degrees.
That gives us an angle.
Pretty well right.
It has a degree scale.
Yeah, so
And a
that's just,
distance scale.
see your line of chord here. So from 0 degrees, what do we want? 65.
65.
So we come up here to 65 degrees, which is here.
So you put that distance between the two marks.
100, just under 147 mil.
It's an amazing feeling when a plan comes together and the measurements match perfectly with the plans, bringing us one step closer to assembling the longeron to the hull of the boat.
How heavy is it then?
Maybe 80 kilos, maybe 90.
Too bad.
I had the heavy end.
Does it just get welded on there?
Just glue it.
Glue it on there?
No bolts,
No.
just welded.
5083 alloy aluminum is strong, and with the proper filler and equipment, the welds are strong too. But the process of welding heats up the material itself, decreasing its strength properties. So this must be taken into account when factoring the loads and material thickness, especially for key structures like our longeron. But using the old metal hot glue gun is the way to go for this. But things are getting real now. We're about to attach the longeron to the bridge deck, setting the stage for the forward crossbeam. Doing it right is crucial, because in 2 weeks, when we flip the boat right side up, the whole weight will be hanging from them way up in the air.
That is a laser lever.
Laser level, yeah. Yeah, so this machine will self-level itself to a certain degree. It just shoots a beam, so it'll pick up on this. So if I put that in line with that beam, so it tells me that, see how it's going up in millimetres?
Yeah.
And it'll beat loud when we get to where we want. So what we're going to do is take a shot off the bridge deck, set it level to the beam, we'll describe a mark, and then ideally we move the laser then to that reference measurement that we've got, and then put it in that spot, and it should beat. Or we lift it, raise it, or lower it till it beats.
Ideally.
Cool. Is
So
this
we
how
are-
you do the boat in general? Like this
Yeah.
is what you use?
Yeah, so this
Same
is how we
system.
set up all the frames.
Millimeter accuracy here is critical, even with such large pieces. So we measured many different ways to make sure we had it correctly in place. We needed to find the center of the boat, the vertical center of the bridge deck, and then make sure the end was centered between both bows as well. We did a final verification with the laser level to make sure everything was perfect, and then we tacked it all in place.
It's got to go down on the front, Brian.
It's against these edges here.
Yeah, it's got to go down on the front.
After a lot of fine tuning, we finally got the longeron exactly where it needs to be. This is where the final prep comes in, smoothing it all out and making sure everything lines up perfectly. Once that's done, it's time to weld. Every bit of this has to be tough enough to handle whatever the ocean throws at us.
This is why these filters are good.
What would have been in your lungs, man?
That's crazy.
That's why the air packs are good.
Yeah.
Anyway, we can use that filter again now.
Come on, let's see it, Dan. Freaking Australian cowboy over here.
What was the hardest part here?
The hardest part was getting Dan to redo his cowboy ride up on the wee-ha. The hardest part was, I think, every time you tweak it, one to that end, it moves this end.
Yeah.
So what we ended up doing was putting this brace on here temporarily to keep it from shifting until we find this end and got it a lot closer. And put the jack underneath. So we get it little by little, dry it off a little bit, but it fits really good. Look at how that lines up.
I don't know if we could say it, but it fits like a finger in a bum.
There was no time to waste, so literally minutes after we had everything aligned, we began fitting the pieces for the crossbeam to lock it all in place. The construction of the crossbeam was pretty straightforward, and even though it's a very large piece of fabrication, there weren't too many parts, so it came together pretty easily. All in all, we spent 3 full days working on the longeron and crossbeam. We'd budgeted 5 days for this part of the project, so finishing at a schedule was a huge win.
Hey, good morning. It is Friday, and we had a pretty big week at the shop today. Let me show you what we built. Doesn't that look cool? It's the longeron and the crossbeam. Took about the better part of 2, maybe 3 days to fabricate, including all the welding, and it turned out really well. It just looks amazing. Anyway, yeah, good progress. Flying along, and we've got about 1 week until our patrons party, and we get the cranes in to flip the boat, which is very exciting.
So these are the chain trace and lugs that I
Fabricated up the other day. Pretty cool, right? I'm stoked. Look at the size of these guys. Just beefy. So that's for the Seagull striker cable. 19 mil strand on that. Look at this thing.
It is just so cool looking. It's like a giant arm. So this is where the anchor will sit, right here. Anchor will come up, pop right there.
Got a new anchor from Mantis Marine. We're gonna try their new M2 design, which is pretty cool.
And then the chain will run inside here. I think we'll have to put down something on the bottom so that it doesn't
Kind of reverberate and be real loud.
But just look at the structure. It reminds me of like a giant Transformers arm, like a robot arm.
And just like that, we finished attaching the longeron and the crossbeam to the deck of the boat. What started out as a complex project with plenty of challenges has come together smoothly in the end. With everything aligned and locked in place, we're one step closer to bringing this boat to life. It's a great feeling to see your hard work pay off, and we're excited for what comes next.
Might ring the man himself.
Yeah? Call them up.
It's hard because I don't know if it's my Aussie accent, but he's like, oh mate,
Longeron? I don't know what they call it. No, not the longeron. Shit. It's some kind of French. Okay, I'm gonna have Brian describe that one.
cameras everywhere. Which way do I look? Run out of time.
Yeah.
You reckon we push the flip back a week?
Sure.
Everyone that's coming here for a week to help out, sanding, then we'll flip it. No, we'll be right. Put these flap
Millimeter accuracy here is critical, even with such large peaches. Peaches? Did I just say peaches?
Peaches, 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 peaches.